Once upon a time, in a forest bursting with tall trees and singing birds, lived a little squirrel named Squeaky. Squeaky was a very fast squirrel, with a twitchy nose and the brightest, busiest tail you ever did see. He loved to run and jump, and most of all, he loved doing things quickly. One sunny morning, Squeaky had a wonderful idea. He wanted to plant an acorn and grow the biggest, most delicious acorn tree in the whole forest, and he's going to do it today. So, Squeaky zipped down from his tree and pretended to gather nuts very fast. Gathering nuts. He pretends to gather nuts very fast. He gathered his nuts, then he tucked them under a leaf and covered them with dirt. Then he stood back proudly. Then Squeaky looked around for the perfect spot to plant his acorn. And over there beyond the bushes, just beyond those bushes, he saw a small clearing bathed in sunshine. Perfect, he thought, and he quickly dug a tiny hole, placed his shiny brown acorn inside and covered it with soil. Then he waited and waited. One day, Squeaky tapped his foot impatiently, then peeked into the hole. "Nothing? This is taking too long," he said. He wanted to see the acorn sprout and grow into a big tree right away, but Squeaky couldn't wait. So he decided to ask his friend, Oakely the owl, who was known for his wisdom and calm ways. Oakely was perched high on a branch, quietly observing the forest. As Squeaky approached, Oakely blinked slowly, looking wise. "Hello, Oakely," said Squeaky. "I planted an acorn, but it's not growing. It's just sitting there. I want a big tree, but I want it now. Tell me what magic nut I need to make it fast." "Hoo, little Squeaky," said the Oakely. "A tree is a wonderful dream, but nature has its own special clock. Have you heard of patience?" Squeaky tilts his head, looking puzzled, and said, "Patience? Is that a kind of nut? Does it make things grow faster?" "No, dear Squeaky," chuckles gently said the Oakely. "Patience is like a quiet, warm sunshine for your dreams. You give something time, care, and a little waiting, and then wonderful things can happen. A tiny acorn needs sunshine, water, and time to become a mighty oak, just like you need time to learn to climb the tallest trees. If you hurry, you might fall and get hurt. But if you practice and you have patience, you'll climb higher than you ever imagined. Don't worry, little one. Your acorn will sprout when it's ready. It's just resting until then. Now, why don't you take a nap? I'm sure you'll feel much better after a little rest." So, Squeaky took a nap, and when he woke up, he felt so much better. He decided to trust Oakley's wisdom and wait patiently for his acorn to grow. He still wanted his tree fast, but he knew Oakley was right. So, instead of digging up his acorn, he decided to visit it every day. He'd make sure it got sunshine, and when it rained, he knew it was getting a drink. He learned to play with his friends while his little acorn rested and grew. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Squeaky didn't notice every tiny change, but he kept visiting. And one crisp autumn morning, as the leaves began to turn golden, Squeaky saw something amazing. A tiny green sprout had poked through the earth, reaching for the sky. It wasn't a giant tree yet, but it was a beginning. And Squeaky knew that with a little more patience, his dream tree would one day stand tall and strong, a home for many forest creatures. He understood that some of the best things in life take time, and that waiting can be part of the wonderful adventure. The greatest lesson is that meaningful growth, like a tiny seed becoming a mighty tree, requires the enduring virtue of patience. And that's the end of this story.